Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is a 15-minute session, so this is going to be pretty short, pretty quick, and will get you what you need. Welcome to Learning Lab live sessions. My name is Amanda. I'm a writing specialist at the Northridge Learning Lab, and I'm going to give you the basics of outlining for a 5-paragraph essay. In the chat box, I'm going to give you a link to a website, and this is where you can download the files that I'm going to be using today. You should be seeing them on your screen right now with screen sharing. The screen should say 5-paragraph essay outline. We're going to look at a blank outline and at an outline that has been filled out. So, with your essays, you should always pay careful attention to any instructions that your professor gives you on what the structure should look like and what the content should look like. But a 5-paragraph essay is the most common kind you'll see at ACC, and this is a good place to start planning for many different kinds of essays. So first, we're going to look at this blank outline. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you can see the whole thing. We have 3 body paragraphs. We have an introduction and we have a conclusion. So, when you're planning out your essay, ideally you're going to start with some pre-writing, some brainstorming, so you can start generating ideas to put in your outline. If you want to talk more about pre-writing and brainstorming, we're going to have another session on that later in the week. Now, it may be tempting to start with your introduction and your thesis statement, but that is often not the best place to start when you're writing an essay. What's a thesis statement? The thesis statement tells us what's going to be in the essay, what points you're going to be discussing in the body paragraphs. That's probably not what you need to write first for your outline, because you don't know what's going to be in the body paragraphs until you have planned it. So it's a good idea to start with your topic sentence ideas. You're probably going to have one main idea per paragraph. So body paragraph 1, topic sentence, there's a place here to put your idea. Body paragraph 2, that will be a separate idea. Body paragraph 3, that will be a separate idea. And that idea will control all of the details that you put in that body paragraph. After you have made all of your topic sentences, then you're going to want to look at combining them to form your thesis. So how do these things work together? I'm going to move over to this sample persuasive essay outline. The topic of this sample essay is about how muffins are the greatest breakfast food ever. So we have our body paragraph ideas. Main idea number 1, muffins are easy to eat. That paragraph's going to be all about things that make muffins easy to eat. Body paragraph 2, muffins are environmentally friendly. This paragraph is going to be all about how muffins are environmentally friendly. We're not going to have anything about other topics in that paragraph. Body paragraph 3, muffins taste good. And all my details are going to be explaining what I mean when I say muffins taste good. Now, how do we put these things together in the thesis? Thesis idea. I will convince the reader that muffins are the perfect breakfast food because they're easy to eat, number 1, environmentally friendly, number 2, and taste good, number 3. Now, for almost all forms of writing, you don't want to use the phrase, I will convince the reader that. But if you start writing with that idea in mind, once you chop that part off, what's left is probably going to be a good beginning to a thesis statement. Now, back to the blank outline, you'll see that there are 3 supporting details for every body paragraph. You can see I've filled those out in these completed outlines. What do I mean when I say muffins are easy to eat? Here are some examples to demonstrate it. What do I mean when they taste good? Well, here are 3 reasons why I think they taste good. Now, the supporting details are where you're going to have the most variation in your outline. 3 is usually a really good starting point. The human brain likes to work in 3s. But you may find that for the topic you're writing about, you only need an A and a B. You don't need a C. But A and B is going to take some good amount of space. Or maybe you need A, B, C, and D. Adjust according to what you need in your essay, and of course, adjust what you need to meet your professor's instructions. Finally, in your conclusion, you're going to restate your thesis. Just as your introduction introduces the idea, tells the reader what points you're going to be talking about in the body paragraphs, your conclusion will remind the reader of the most important things that you just said. Now, this may seem really repetitive, so you'll use different kinds of phrasing to give your essay more variation. And also, if you practice this kind of structure now on simpler or shorter essays, then later in your academic career, when you're writing lengthier essays, you will have already internalized a good structure. Now, how do we transfer these things to the finished essay? So again, you can access these handouts in the link I gave you. We have an outline that's filled out here. Now I'm going to scroll down to a sample essay. The thesis will often be the final sentence of your introduction. Here I have the thesis that I demonstrated in my outline. I have the thesis points numbered. Easy to eat, number 1. Environmentally friendly, number 2. And tasty, number 3. I have the topic sentences outlined and numbered here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. The topic sentence should ideally be the first sentence of every body paragraph. However, you can see with my third body paragraph, it is the second sentence because I'm using the first one to transition from the previous idea. So keep that structure in mind, and again, be mindful of your instructions for your assignment. Here in the conclusion, I have rephrased the thesis, and notice that the points in the body come in the same order as the points in the thesis. The human brain likes patterns, so if you've introduced something first in your introduction, you want to introduce that first in your body paragraphs. Same thing from the second point, same thing from the third point. So why should we bother with outlining at all? Why can't I just sit down and write my essay from beginning to start? If you know your subject very well, that might work for you. If it's a relatively simple essay, that might work for you. But it's likely that you're going to reach a point in your academic career where your ideas will be too complex to sit down from start to finish and write a really good quality essay. So it's good to practice your planning right now. An outline is an especially good place to store quotes when you're using researched material. That way you can isolate all of your quotes and make sure they're going with the thing they support best. You can practice your citations, and that will help you see if your quotes are distributed evenly and effectively throughout the paper. Those are the basics that I have for you on outlining. Again, this is a blank outline you can use. And this is one that's filled out to show you how I like to put these things together. Does anyone have any questions on doing outlining for your essays? So if there are no questions, then we are finished there with our content. Keep in mind that if you want more detailed help on your essays or assistance with outlining specific to your assignment, you can always make an appointment with an ACC tutor. Just go to austincc.edu/tutor for more information. Thank you all very much for attending.